Call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Genslinger.
Here.
Havlet.
Here.
Gurza. Osterloo. Here. Schmitz. Schurz. Here. Sonny.
Here.
Dosher. We have a quorum.
All right. You have an agenda in front of you. Are there any conflicts of interest you need to declare?
I'll be abstaining from item 8.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on. We can approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Moved and seconded that we approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion on the matter? But in the audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting minutes from the previous meeting are in your packet. Any corrections, additions, subtractions?
I did make a correction to them before. I posted them, and then someone said something to me, so I reposted them, so they are technically amended.
Okay.
I had the roll call votes correct, I just had the tallies wrong on a couple of them.
So
they
do we need an approval with the amendment then?
I would say approve the amended minutes.
Okay.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve them as amended. Is there any further discussion on that? Anybody in the audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next meeting would be November 12th. That is a Tuesday.
That is a Tuesday.
Approve.
Moved and seconded that we approve November 12th, a Tuesday. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. First item on the agenda then is hearing and action on establishing the boundaries and approval of the project plan for tax increment financing district number 38. Mark.
This was noticed in the paper, the timeline required, TIF 38. The applicant is requesting around $500,000. There's TIF eligible expense of around $990 for this. This is a developer finance TIF, which makes this grant pass through and does not go against the city's constitutional debt. And the applicant has 5 years to spend increment, 20 years to pay it back with that. The brewery, if you look at the aerial of the GIS, just off Main Street to the west a little bit. The depot would be to the southeast of them. This one's a little bit different for the timeline that's been going on with this. We've been working with them for about 2 years, approximately from when they first applied for the TIF. And we let them continue forward with the project because they were working with the railroad to get boundaries established and work through some legal with them. They are still working on that as well at this time. So they've gone back to the existing plat that was there when they first purchased the property. You've seen a new plat for this area that was approved by this board and council. It has not been recorded yet. So that's why they're going back to this boundary for the plat. So if there is a motion when it's at time for approving the boundary, we'll want to make sure that we use what was published in the paper, which is a little bit different, but it's referencing the book of plats and the page and the date that it was filed. That way, there's a little more concise way to define where it is because there's other stuff that's happened after and will have happened after as well. As I said, they show all the different TIFs that the city has approved recently or over the years that their increments, the $500,000 that they're requesting for the amount. There's a developer's agreement within this TIF that is standard. This is their budget or renovation cost they have is 2.9 roughly for total cost. Developer cost 1.9. The TIF eligible will be 990, but for the increment that pencils out, it comes down to about 500,000 that they can request for the increment back. On page 2688 has a renovation reconstruction project. It's what they're using the funds for or for the whole project as well. Page 29 has the 503 that shows the estimates available for the payback years. The improvements, what the new assessed value will be. And then shows the boundary of where it was going to be located at and the zoning that does not need to be changed at all. I can answer any questions you have for me. Justin may want to add some other, or the applicants here as well, if you have any questions for them.
I don't think I've got much here, Mark. Gave a pretty good rundown. I just will note that the developer would be waiving the discretionary formula and would also be required to certify their costs. Other than that, I think Mark pretty much hit on everything.
Don, anything to add to that?
I think we can just open it up for questions. They've covered
Okay.
all of them, so I think we can share. Doug's here to, Beck is here, he's one of the developers, and so we can answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay, sounds good. Are you going to abstain?
I shall.
All right. Missed the vote, so make sure we get you on there. Okay. Any questions, guys? Well, if there's no questions, I guess we are ready to set the boundary with the description that's in the packet.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that we set the boundary with the description that's in the packet. Is there any further discussion? Anybody in the audience want to address this one? Mark, let's do roll call.
Havlet,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Schmitz,
Abstain?
Schurz,
Yes.
Sonny,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried to set the boundary.
Okay, next item would be to set the project plan or approve the project plan.
Approve the project plan and recommend approval of TIF District number 38.
There you go.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the project plan and recommend approval of tax increment financing district number 38. Hopefully I said that right. Let's do a roll call on that one as well.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Schmitz,
Abstain?
Schurz,
Yes.
Sonny,
Yes.
Havlet,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 8 on the agenda is the same thing with TIF district number 39.
Alright. This is at the corner of the bypass in Maine. It was published in the paper for SECL. The applicant is requesting around $330,000, and the TIF eligible expenses are right around $330,000 as well. This is again a developer finance TIF, which makes this a grant pass-through and it does not go against the city's constitutional debt. Applicant has 5 years to spend an increment and 20 years to pay it back with that. This will actually, if it follows the math, it should pay back faster than the 20 years. And we can get into that as well. You have the overall look at the building for this. I will go back a little bit to the GIS of this. There is easements to get to this piece of property from the north. Their DOT will not give any access from the bypass or from Highway 37 there, but there is access easement that has been recorded previously to get down to this garage area. So just a little history there. Legal is stated in there, which is just fine. Have no issues with that. This is a 5,900 square foot commercial building. They intend to hire 5 new employees, possibly. They have the existing TIFs that the city owns, or city has on there. The 33206 is what they are requesting. The developers agreement that we have as well. It's like the previous ones. Project costs, again, total cost is about 1.2. Non-project is roughly 900,000, 330 for TIF eligible costs. On page 56, you can see what the construction project is for. Construction costs include what they're using it there. On the tax revenue estimates available for the city, it does come to 357. So a little bit earlier possibly than the 20 years that they have to pay it back. Again, I can answer any questions that you may have, or if Mr. Johnson, if you'd like to add. Applicant is here as well if you have any questions for them.
And Justin?
Same comments as the last tip.
All right. Does the applicant want to make any further comment?
I just will, I'd like to introduce you to Spencer Mason, if you don't know him. Spencer is
Hi.
he's the developer. This project is on the north side of Mitchell, and so it's kind of continuing in the rebirth out there with Kroger Plumbing making the renovations to the Shopco building and some of the other things that are going out there. This is kind of exciting because it's going to be on the north side. It's going to allow Spencer to take his existing business and make it bigger. He's already got, if it can go forward, he'd be moving into the implement side of it too, cleaning those, and that's why it's a bigger building. And he's got some folks from outside of the Mitchell area that want to come in and have him do their work, so it'll be expanding business to Mitchell. So I think it's a really good project. Spencer, anything you want to say?
Not really, no.
Okay.
All right.
Any questions that you have?
Not for you, thank you.
Okay.
So this is highway business, right? I mean, I guess we're not getting into that yet, but this is highway business. Any plan that would get done in there would come before us again here.
That is correct, yep.
Any questions, guys? Ready for a motion then to set the boundary?
Second.
Moved and seconded that we set the boundary. Guess the description in the packet is still correct, right? So let's go, any further comment on that before we go to vote? Let's go roll call.
Havlet,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Schurz,
Yes.
Sonny,
Abstain.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Carried.
All right, now we need to approve the project plan and recommend the approval of the tax increment financing district number 39. Should just say TIF. It's a lot easier.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the project plan and the TIF. Any further discussion? Roll call, Mark.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Schurz,
Yes.
Sonny,
Abstain.
Havlet,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, next item on the agenda is a plat, Elwine, Dennis, and Brenda, plat of Lot B. The description is in our packet here.
This is outside city limits, but and the ETJ, but within the 3 miles of city limits. That's why you're seeing this in front of you. There's a lot of flooded ground on this. As you can see by the GIS, 2 different photos. I had to go back a few years to get the bottom photo so that I could actually outline the bank.
Wow, lines are adding up.
Well, a donut's coming.
It's a new phone, I don't know how to silence it yet, other than with my boot.
The county will hear this at their November 4th and November 12th meetings. They're platting it together, is my assumption, to be able to sell it as one parcel. There was some previous issues with some landlocked property to the south that the county got involved with to make sure that there was an easement to get down to it. I would assume they're kind of platting this, possibly sell it to that landowner to the south in the future.
The issue is that 250 First is unimproved at this point. Is that why the easement? Because there's a street on the bottom side of the lot below it.
Yep.
Any other questions, guys? Ready for a motion, then?
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat as presented. Is there any further discussion? Anybody in the audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item is a plat, Riggs, Ronald and Michelle, Tract 3 in the west, 626.84 feet of Lot 5 at Cranes Addition. Rest of the description's in the packet.
This is outside city limits, but within the ETJ, it is city's zoning jurisdiction. Because of that, it is zoned urban development. The plat does meet the requirements set aside in urban development zoning. As you can see, they've platted out a couple of them. This is the third one. I know the GIS and the plat don't quite line up with the drawings themselves. It's wrong on the GIS system. When they went to put in the extra 33 feet to put it to the south, go to the middle of the road, they actually did that plus another 33 feet to the north. So the GIS is wrong. We'll work with District 3 to get that fixed. But it's a 1 acre lot for a dwelling in the future. It could be sold for someone to have a dwelling. I can answer any questions that you may have. And are you with this? Who are you?
She's here for a meeting
Oh.
after this meeting.
Never mind then.
I don't know why I'm here.
All right, seems pretty straightforward. Any questions? Ready for a motion then?
Move to approve.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat as presented in the packet. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a plat, CJM Consulting, Inc., plat of Lot 10, Block 1 of the Westwood First Edition.
This is off of the bypass, between the bypass and Commerce Street. It is following in line with the other lots that have been platted within this area. It is zone TWC. It fits the requirement for sizing for a plat. They will be doing a site analysis or drainage study. Now, Joe, you want to answer that portion?
We requested a elevation certificate with this, and they said it will be coming back as a larger development to be determined.
Which would be along with the building permit portion of it.
Is this the last plat to do out here?
Oh, no.
The immediate area seems to be outlined.
There's a lot to the north that could still be platted. A lot of it to the south has been, but the area to the north,
It'd be in the area of the billboard that's out there.
Yeah.
So there's quite a bit of green space left.
yep, large green space to the north, yeah.
Gotcha. Any questions, guys?
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat as presented in the packet. Any further discussion? Anybody in the audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a plat for Railroad Pines LLC, plat of Lot A3 in the subdivision of Lot A1, North Boyden First Edition.
This is outside city limits, but within the ETJ, therefore it's a city of Mitchell zoning jurisdiction. This meets the requirements for R4 for high-density residential district. They are platting out the existing house and leaving the other ground in the LLC. I believe they're going to sell the house to one of their kids, and so that's why they're platting it out for them. There was some discussion about the road and whose authority it is. We did reach out to DOT to see if they wanted to be the ones to sign on the road authority, since it is in the county. And by where the driveway sits, it's not going to be there, so it'll be a developer or a township that will probably sign this plat for the road authority. But they have seen it and didn't have any interest with this.
Good. Any questions, guys?
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat as presented in the packet. Any further discussion? Anybody in the audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a plan approval for Merlin Tingle, 1800 Loma Linda Drive, zoned highway business district.
The applicant would like to build a cold storage building at this location. It's zoned highway oriented business. He's not able to be here. He's out of town, so he cannot be here. So if you have any questions, we can give him a call. He did provide his overall plan of where he'd like to build this. He used the boundary of the piece of paper, I shouldn't say the paper, but the drawing itself as the lot portion of it. And so when you see the 8 feet to the west, 8 feet to the north, 246, it's not per scale for that portion, but that's where he's trying to say that's where it's going on the property. And I did discuss it with him when he brought it in. And then the next page has your elevations for it, with 2 doors to the south, a couple windows on the east and west side. He will be draining kitty corner to an existing culvert that goes across Loma Linda Drive. It's all it's all gravel to begin with, and he is working on cleaning out a portion of a drainage ditch right through this location right here to help with some drainage in the area for not only him but also Loma Linda, to give them hopefully a little bit of a reprieve. I can answer any questions that you have.
Any concerns with drainage, Joe?
Since he's gravelled that lot, the runoff would be the same whether there's a roof building or not.
Anybody else have any questions?
Move to approve.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plan as presented. Any further discussion? Anybody in the audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Is there any other business to come before this board?
We had 2 citizens come to our October 16th meeting, and Jacob also came as well. We had discussion for about 45 minutes about a couple different ordinance updates. Yeah, it was a good discussion about the RVOs, setbacks, some other uses in different areas as well. It was good, but we'll continue forward and get a board together and start doing the modifications to it. I also did attend the SDPA meeting up in Box Elder this past week. The topics mainly were parking, how to figure out how to revise different parking policies for areas. A lot of other towns are also having issues with requiring too much parking and not enough room for them. One way that some towns are doing it is for drive-throughs for those type of restaurants. They're counting the vehicles that are parked, stacked parking in the drive-through as parking spaces. So, I mean, that can cut down, they're trying to get it cut down with people that have been doing it about 20%. And they still feel like that's adequate parking for the places that are using them, because it's don't need to build for Black Friday. And that's what a lot of our ordinances are doing for that. Hybrid zoning, that was a couple for Rapid and Sioux Falls. They're trying to get away from the setbacks themselves in some of the locations that they have for multi-use buildings, and more dictated as to the setbacks for the use that it's being. So maybe bring it out to the road a little bit further and closer, but yet have a restriction for the height with that, or if it's going up 3 stories, your 4th one has to be bumped back so it doesn't seem so tunneled. But yet, they approved the last 3 of them to go 4 without having to have a variance or anything, because it was a planned development, so they didn't have to have a variance portion, and they thought that it didn't tunnel it enough. So they might relook at that. Vacation rentals, the definition of those, how a lot of places are using them. The Hills was the one that did a good presentation out there, and they gave Deadwood, Leeds, Sturfish, Pennington County, Lawrence County doesn't deal with them at all. Lincoln County, they aren't going to really deal with it at all on the zoning side of things. They'll do license with the VRBO or Airbnb, but not individually. And then there was a floodplain presentation as well. Those were the big ones out there. So we're not the only ones that are having issues, same issues around the whole state.
Sure.
So,
Good. Anything else? Okay. Time for public input. If you need to address the board on an item that was not on the agenda, excluding personnel items, please come forward to the podium and state your name and your concern.